1. 7 things you probably didn't know you need to know. I'm Jamie East, and this is the Smart 7.
Good morning, everybody. It's Monday the 20th of June, and it's World Refugee Day. And a big happy birthday to Nicole Kidman, Brian Wilson, Frank Lampard, and Lionel Richie. If you're a train traveller, you're not going to have an easy week this week. There are 3 days of rail strikes scheduled, Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday, with a tube strike thrown in on Tuesday for good measure. The impact may be felt on Monday with a special timetable in place for the week, and the advice to passengers is to avoid the train if possible. It's time to dust off that Zoom background. Transport Secretary Grant Shapps says there's no need for the strike.
The strike is the last thing we need. It's jumping the gun. It's unnecessary. Talks are still ongoing. The ballot took place before the talks on pay had even started. It just seems the union is determined to go out on strike.
The General Secretary of the RMT union, Mick Lynch, says that talks have effectively failed, that railway staff are under huge pressure and that the government isn't helping matters.
So they're actually proposing pay cuts, not a pay rise, and an increase in working time on the railway. And if that's the way the rest of the society is going to go, that you have to work more hours for less money, we've got a real crisis in this country.
Labour's Shadow Secretary of State, Lisa Nandy, says the government's got to take negotiations seriously, which she doesn't believe they're doing.
The biggest problem that this country faces right now is not militant workers, it's a militant government.
There was widespread surprise on Friday when Prime Minister Boris Johnson cancelled his appearance at an event in Doncaster with so-called Red Wall Tory MPs at short notice. It turns out he was on his way to Kyiv for his second visit to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. The two men walked the streets of the capital.
Just to say how strongly we support Ukraine and the people of Ukraine. And I want to say thank you to your incredible resistance.
Boris promised more assistance, including a new military training programme, and came hot on the heels of the visit by European leaders. There was also good news for Ukrainian citizens seeking refuge, as unaccompanied minors and children will now be allowed entry to the UK. The battle for the Donbass region continued across the weekend, with Russia stepping up its bombardment of the city of Kharkiv once again. But there was some good news from the EU, as European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen spoke on Friday.
The Commission recommends to the Council, first, that Ukraine is given European perspective, and second, that Ukraine is given candidate status.
The row between the British government and the EU over the Northern Ireland Protocol shows no sign of letting up, with last week's move by the EU to begin legal action over the UK's new unilateral legislation only serving to harden attitudes on both sides. Irish Taoiseach Micheál Martin spoke to the BBC's Sophie Rayworth and continued his call for a serious approach to negotiations from the British government, while warning that the new legislation could do real damage to Northern Ireland's healthy economy.
The legislation that is published does much more than you are suggesting, because it effectively would be severely damaging to the Northern Ireland economy, which is deeply concerning to industry and to businesses in Northern Ireland, and in effect represents a form of economic vandalism on Northern Ireland.
June marks Pride Month, and a new study published at the weekend shows that the general public in the UK are much more accepting of trans issues and the need for education in schools on the subject than was previously reported. There's a general acceptance of trans people, with one issue causing strong feelings, which is the thorny issue of high-performance sport. Sunday saw the world swimming body FINA attempt to diffuse that issue with a new open category for swimmers whose identity at birth is different from their gender identity. To mark Pride Month, US President Joe Biden signed a new executive order on Friday, which is aimed at protecting the LGBTQ+ community from increasing attacks from right-wing groups and from discredited practices.
My order will use the full force of the federal government to prevent inhumane practices of conversion therapy. This is the first time. The federal government is leading a coordinated response against this dangerous, discredited practice.
Still to come on the Smart 7, Englishman Matt Fitzpatrick wins his first major title at the US Open, and Emma Thompson is, well, getting a kit off. Right after this. Welcome back. 3.
Sunday saw the US Open come to a dramatic conclusion at Brookline, with Englishman Matt Fitzpatrick winning his first major title after a crazy final day. Rory McIlroy was chasing his first major win in 8 years and was in contention at the start of the final day, but at the end it was the Sheffield man who took the trophy. In 2013, Fitzpatrick won the US amateur title in Brookline, the first non-American and the second player after Jack Nicklaus to achieve both trophies on the same course. He spoke of how it felt.
10 million times better than I thought it would feel, and for everything that I feel like I've put in the hard work over the years, it's, you know, to see it pay off like that is special. I played so well so many times and just come up shy, and I played well. USPJ, and Billy was like, just stick in, your time will come, and he said, just wait, you know, it's going to happen, and for it to happen here, it just felt right.
Emma Thompson's a busy woman these days. The first trailer for the new Matilda musical, which sees her in alarming prosthetics as Miss Trunchbull, just dropped, and she's out and about promoting her new movie, Good Luck to You, Leo Grand. This one doesn't involve prosthetics, but there's quite a bit of nudity, as she plays a recently widowed woman who decides to enjoy herself with a sex worker played by former Peaky Blinder Daryl McCormack. She says she's not bothered about nudity on set, as she told Seth Meyers she once spent 3 days naked with Jeff Goldblum.
When you are stripped on set, it's quite sort of, it makes everybody very, very careful, but it's also very funny because if like props come up to you with something, they'll come up to you and they'll come up to your face and go, hey, here you go, Seth, here's your prop. And then they'll walk away, but not looking down. No looking down. Yes, here's your... And then they walk away, keeping their eyes up, just in case, you know, you think that they're looking.
Right. Westworld is back for Season 4, and it might be best if you just pretend you've worked out what exactly happened in Season 3. Lead host Evan Rachel Wood is back, although a character may have died in Season 3, but anyway, they're all robots, there's no rules. This season sees the hosts getting ready for revenge, and Episode 1 drops next Monday. Oh, and there are a lot of flies, although not really sure why.
Your kind made a sport out of hunting us. You controlled our every move, and now I'm going to do the same to you. It's time to evolve into the species that we were meant to become.
This has been The Smart 7. Wherever you're listening, do us a favour and hit the follow button. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Have a great day.
Written, produced and published by Daft Doris.